the finale of this series, the enemy inside that's trying to control us so that we won't get into our future. This one right here sometimes seems to cause more problems than they should. It's called the bug of the past. Now, some of you out there, and many of you in here, when you think about the past, you think about the things that hurt me, the things that disappoint me, the failures I have. That's all part of it. But today I want you to think about a little different angle. What if the Lord is trying to get us not to take the bug of the past, which is simply holding on to the good you do, not to go for the great you have? In chapter 3, verse 13, one scripture, a couple of thoughts, and then we'll move on from there. Let's read from the screen, unless you have the New Living Translation on your telephones or any other device you have. Let's read. It says, "No, dear brother and sister, I have not achieved it." Now stop. I have not achieved it. That means that there's some things in life that you just haven't achieved yet. And if you stop achieving, maybe you're stuck in the past without even knowing it. Because many times you can do a lot of good things and think that you achieved all things. But the one good thing you do, you celebrate and you get to the next thing. And he says, I have not achieved. Now this is Paul talking to the Philippian believer, and Paul wrote most of the New Testament. So he's talking about this guy got a lot of volume of information in his head. So Paul can talk about anything, but watch what he says. He says, but I do what? Now how focused are you today? Now keep your thoughts as we talk through this. He said, I do what? I focus on what? How many things? No, 2. Isn't it interesting our world tells us to focus on everything so we do nothing? Focus on one thing because he wants you to achieve the one thing so you can go to the other thing. But what if you never achieve the one thing and you never get to the other things because you haven't achieved the one thing? And that's why we need to go back to part number 3 of the series. How do you conquer procrastination? You see how they built on each other? Because if you can conquer the bug of procrastination, then you can get to the one thing and get to the next thing and get to the next thing. And at the end of your life, you hear Jesus say one thing, which is simply, well done. And he says right here, but I focus on this one thing. Now, let's go to the statement he makes here. Doing what? Forgetting what? Forgetting the past and doing what? To what does what? Forgetting the what? Now, forgetting the good of the past? The past. So in the past, there are what? Good, bad, and ugly. So he say forgetting what? Past. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And doing what? Looking what? Forward. Looking forward to what lies ahead. Looking forward. Isn't it interesting how stuck we get in the good we do that we forget about the future that God has for us? Can I hug you for a minute? Good to see you. Love you. Now, how old are you now? 50. Beautiful 50. How old are you? 30. Ooh, wee. Jesus, take the wheel. How old are you? You 50 for real? What happened to you? Okay. So we have this linear thought. Past, present, future. All right? You see how young the future is. All right? You see how young it is. Right? So what happens is that the present feeds the future. And the future gets stronger, grows healthier, beautiful, grows up to be a very vibrant, lovely young lady who becomes a beautiful woman who has this great future ahead of her as long as she's being fed by the present. Okay? The past comes over and starts feeding the present. And when it feeds the present, you can go sit down. The future, you can sit right there. Yep, right there. The future is isolated by herself. All right? She's all by herself. No one's talking to her. So she don't even think that she exists. Your future, don't think you exist. Because the present's not feeding her. Because the past is in his ear, telling him that you're good. You don't really need to do nothing else. You're fine. You made enough money. You did enough. You witnessed enough. You've been to enough mission fields. You really don't have to do nothing else. You really don't have to go to church no more. You just, you're cool. You're good. Not knowing that the past is trying to make him stay in the past so he will never feed the future. See, so she's back there by herself saying, where is my present? She's all, you lonely? Okay. She's lonely. Right? Now, what happens is that, now watch the order. Because he's listening to the past so much, the past becomes the present. And because the present can't feed the future goes back and sit down. And now there's no future. Now where's the future at? There's no future because now your past is your life. And every time someone sees you, all you talk about is your past. That's all your life. You have no future. You have no hearing well done, because well done is not what you did yesterday. It's what God designed you to be until you come see him. Thoughts. These are thoughts that I want you to go home, think about, and then spend some time with your family, your friends. Call someone and say, hey, can we talk about this transformational thought that Pastor TYUS gave us today? Here's a transformational thought. What are you focusing on? What are you focusing on? Now, it's just something you sit down with a friend or a family member and say, hey, I want to hear what you're focusing on. Question number 2, transformational thought number 2. Have you overcome your past, or does it just keep coming and going every year? All right? Does it keep coming and going? All right, here we go. I get depressed every July. It's July. I'm depressed again. I get in debt every Christmas. It's Christmas. Get in debt again. I doubt myself every time I start a new project. Here it come again. Now, if this is what life is, how do you have a future when you're in a circle? If life is linear, how do you go any further when you're in a circle? And every year now, my wife will tell you every year, now you should be getting tired watching me, aren't you? You get dizzy? Yeah. So why aren't you tired of doing the same thing that's not bringing no results? P is, all right, what is the P in the word past? Ready? Position for purpose. Tell yourself, I am positioned for purpose. All right, tell somebody else, you are positioned for purpose. And let's tell these people outside this building, you are positioned for purpose. Now watch the statement. If you allow yourself or anyone else to reposition you towards your past instead of towards your purpose, you will end up back in your past. A, assess your feelings and your thoughts. If you're going to get rid of this bug, you have to assess your feelings and your thoughts. While you assess your feelings and your thoughts, do not accept, ladies and gentlemen, do not accept the ones that take you backwards. You have feelings. You're allowed to have feelings. But the feelings that take you backwards, you have to stop them. Say, oh, no, I know that feeling. That's taking me backwards. Don't let it take you there. Now, I want you to learn how to applaud your present progress. So you just took a test. You got an A on it. Yay! So, man, all of that debt you had and you paid off a bill. Yay! Oh, man, I wasn't depressed today. I've been depressed for a month. I'm not depressed today. Yay! Don't say I was depressed a month ago. Say I was free today. The S in the word past is you have to stabilize. You have to have a stable support system. Now, let me ask the question. Do you really have a stable support system? All right? No. Here's the next slide. Let's look at this. Proverbs 27:7. Here it is. As iron does what? So what? Now here's my question. Do you have a friend that you trust with your future? He is, triggers are real. Tell your neighbors triggers are real. When I was holding that fake little gun, that paintball gun, and I had my hand on the trigger, it felt real. And every time I wanted to release it, as long as it was in my hand, if I saw one of those young people in there, I was always looking for a younger guy. I wanted to just take them out because they didn't think I could move. So especially Nathan, I wanted to take Nathan out bad. And you have a trigger. So here's a thought. What trigger causes you to return to the past place, the past person, the past thoughts that only you know? Read this with me, Philippians 4:13. I can do what? Everything through who? Who gives you what? Say it one more time. I can do all things. I can do everything through who? Who gives you what? Tell someone near you, you can do all things. You can do everything through Christ who gives you strength. Let's tell the people in the world, you can do everything. You can do all things through Christ that gives you strength. So when the trigger comes, you have the strength to put the trigger down.